Hey, how's it going YouTube? I'm back in the video, and today I'm going to be talking about why this will be the hardest road to the finals for the Golden State Warriors since they began their dynasty of making the NBA Finals for what, the past 5 years now they've been in the NBA Finals. I'm pretty sure past 5 or 4 years they've been in the NBA Finals, and why I think this will be their hardest one in their entire time since they did start this run. So yeah, I'm be getting to all that in the video. So without further ado, without rambling on too much, let's get right into this video. Alright, so my first reason for this video is going to be that every single team in the playoffs this year, at least in the Western Conference side, is a good team. As these 2 through 8 seeds, I mean, you can all of them, you can legitimately say that they can all compete with the Warriors on a nightly basis. As usually there's teams kind of like the Pelicans, for example, or like the Kings almost snuck in. Usually the 8th and 7th seeds, no one really cares about them. They couldn't compete with them even if they wanted to. But now with the Clippers being the 8th seed, that we've already seen since game 1, that it's going to be a very, very, very competitive series. Even if they get swept, it is still going to be a competitive series. So, I mean, with every team being good, it's not like they're going to have a cakewalk in any of these series. They're actually going to have to put forth effort and actually like really try to win these series, because even if they do get sweeps, they're still going to be pretty hard to win. And I mean, they're at least going to be competitive, and there won't be any series like against the Pelicans last year, where although it was in the second round, the Pelicans got beat 4-1, and it was pretty convincingly almost every game that they lost. So I mean, there's not going to be any series like that. It's all going to be pretty competitive, at least that's what I think. But now my second reason is going to be that it's going to be extremely physically draining. Now, what might be apart from other years past, due to all the teams being so much better than they usually are and how deep the playoffs are on the Western Conference side, well, I mean, it's going to be extremely physical demanding. And I really didn't know how bad it was going to be with the Clippers, but I mean, after only in game 1, in the first round against the Clippers, we've already seen the Clippers and Patrick Beverley coming for every single person on the Warriors' throats. Kevin Durant and Patrick Beverley have already got thrown out of the game 1, and I mean, it's already looking like it's going to be a very competitive and hard-fought series already in round 1. And even if they do sweep them, you know how mentally and physically draining that is to deal with someone like Patrick Beverley and someone as gritty and grindy of a team like the Los Angeles Clippers. You know how hard that's going to be for them, even if they do sweep them. And if they can get like 5 or 6 games out of them, if the Clippers can do that, that's going to help a lot of teams farther down the road. As I mean, most teams aren't going to have to go through the absolute grind of a road that the Warriors are going to have to go through, because like even after they get past the Clippers, who are one of the more like grit and grind teams, after they get through them, they're most likely going to have to play the Houston Rockets in only the second round. And I mean, when you're playing the Houston Rockets in the second round, who brought you to 7 games in the Western Conference Finals last year, and you know they want to run it back, especially because now Chris Paul is healthy, and assuming he stays healthy for that series, it could go to another 7-game series. The series could be very competitive, and you know the Rockets are going to be trying even harder with James Harden having one of his best years, plus they want revenge from last year. They're going to be playing even harder in their trying to win, and we've seen the Rockets give the Warriors tons and tons of trouble in the past year, last year. So I mean, now they have to play that in the second round. So now already in the first 2 rounds, they're going up against a grit and grind team that's going to just physically drain you, and then probably the league's MVP in a team that brought you to 7 games last year in the Western Conference Finals and would have beat you if their star point guard didn't get hurt. Now you have to play them in the second round. And then in the Western Conference Finals, they're either going to have to play the Nuggets, the Spurs, or the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, I didn't put Portland in there because, let's be honest, with Jusuf Nurkic out, they're not playing Portland in the conference. Portland's not getting to the conference finals. I don't care what you say. But those 3 teams, now the Nuggets are just extremely talented. Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, they're going to be very hard to deal with. And I mean, for a Western Conference team, Western Conference Finals, where the Warriors already went through 2 very competitive series, I think that could be a very good one. And then if they played the Spurs, that's going to be mentally draining, because although the Warriors way out talent the Spurs, let's be honest, a Greg Popovich-led team is always fundamentally sound. And if the Warriors didn't play fundamentally sound basketball, like as good as possible, that they would have a legit chance of losing that series, which would probably force them to like start having to really pay attention and really get away. Because I mean, let's be honest, the Warriors can out talent the Spurs, but they can't out scheme the Spurs because Greg Popovich is just that good of a coach. So I mean, it's gonna be mentally draining for not only the Warriors team in general, but Steve Kerr, as he's gonna have to really come up with game plans to counteract one of the best coaches to ever live in Greg Popovich. And then if they played the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're the next most talented team in the playoffs after the Rockets and Warriors. So now they're going to have to play a very talented team, plus someone in Westbrook who's like, you know, Westbrook wants a shot at Kevin Durant in the conference finals. You know, like, it's going to be competitive as hell if Westbrook and Kevin Durant meet in the Western Conference Finals, and it's going to be one of those grit and grind series as well. They're pretty much going to be a more talented version of the Spurs. And then Paul George, for a while in this season, was playing like an MVP candidate for a very long time, and I mean, he can turn it up at any time. So Paul George, he's going to be absolutely something hard to deal with, and he can also clamp down on defense. So the Warriors are going to have an extremely hard time in these playoffs, as it's going to be extremely physically draining and mentally draining on their part. And I mean, every team is so good in this series, I just couldn't imagine the Warriors sweeping almost anyone in these playoffs, and it's going to be very hard for them to make it in there. I mean, this is a very hard road, and if they can get to the NBA Finals through this road, they deserve to win the NBA Finals. And now my third and final reason is going to be that it gets harder every year, with this being their 4th or 5th year in a row going to the NBA Finals, or at least trying to make the NBA Finals as the 1 seed. You know how hard that gets? I mean, yeah, you're winning the finals, but when for 4 years straight, everyone on your team plays 100+ games a year and goes into a very hard-fought series against LeBron James and just has to go through the entire playoffs every single year and throughout and through in, I mean, it gets very hard to do that year out and year out, and eventually it gets so hard that they just cannot do it, and it's extremely mentally and physically draining on everyone in the entire organization. So I mean, every year they try to do it, it's going to get harder and harder, and maybe this is the year they break, and I could definitely see that them getting upset in the second or maybe even the conference finals due to how hard these playoffs are going to be. I mean, this is definitely the most talented Western Conference playoffs we've seen in a very, very long time. But unfortunately, guys, that's me for this video. So comment below. Do you agree with me? Do you think the Warriors are going to struggle quite a lot in the playoffs? Do you think this is one of the more talented playoffs and deep playoffs runs? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And if any video ideas you want to see me make in the future, comment those below as well. And I hope you like the video. And if you like the video, point the like button and subscribe button. That would mean the world to me. But I also have to give all glory to God. Y'all been showing so much support on the channel, but I couldn't do it without Him. He's the reason I'm here. He's the reason we're all here. He's blessed me, given me so many blessings in my life. He's blessed everybody around me. Just blessed me so much to be able to make these videos and spread His name through these videos, and I just cannot thank Him for all the blessings that He has put upon me and put upon my life and family as well, keeping us safe, healthy, and just happy in general. And I'm just so blessed to be here. But like I said, that's the first video, so if you do like the video, any point like button and subscribe button, it would mean the world to me. And I hope you have a blessed day. Can have a blessed day, so you need to have a blessed day. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah, blah, blah.